Russell, Adam and I often talk about government regulation and how it can stifle progress and innovation, but it is something you need. How do we strike a balance?
Aged care is tricky, having been a bureaucrat myself and knowing that where taxpayer funds are involved, you've got to have rules. Otherwise, things just get taken liberties. So I understand that, but I remember a term that came up early in my career in aged care, which really perfectly describes the aged care sector, which is Stalinist. Stalin's government had a rule regulation book for everything. Pay scales, the price of wheat, the price of bread, everyone's wages. But then at the end of the day, under communism, they pretend to pay you and we pretend to work.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where the rules are only worthwhile if they are actually facilitating an effective functional market. If they are actually interfering with an effective functional market, then it's actually just creating layers of inefficiency. I've been to the Department of Health at Woden in Canberra, and none of those people deliver any aged care. So what are they doing? They're just a cost on the system. They're an overhead. It's just one of my frustrations in the sector is that you see a lot of waste, you see a lot of procedure, and you have to ask, is any of that adding value? And I do have a lot of interactions. I'm pretty active on Twitter or in LinkedIn or wherever, more so on Twitter, where you interact with a lot of activists or people who are aggrieved by the way the system has performed. And they talk about, Royal Commission titled neglect, and obviously the system's not working. And this is why we need regulation to protect people who are vulnerable. I agree with that to some extent, but the situation we've seen over the last, probably beyond my time in starting in 03, even back further than that, probably back to the back of 96, 97, is that they're just continually slapping Band-Aid or layer of wallpaper on layer of wallpaper. And it creates this very convoluted system. I'm dealing at some regulatory issues at the moment, and just the way that they interplay is incoherent. There's no strategy to it. You end up having 5 or 6 different masters, and it is an extremely time-consuming and frustrating and stressful system to operate in if things start to go wrong. There's no practical intent to help. I might have 5 or 6 different contact points for a regulatory issue, and instead of there being some sort of helpful resource, it's just 5 or 6 different people coming at you. It's not a good environment to be running a business, keeping staff morale up, finding leadership who can handle all this stress. It's actually, you've got fleets of bureaucrats who are experienced and have lawyers behind them, and that just using an arsenal to pound away at you while you're trying to deliver services.